Today, we are going to be talking about why I chose my transition over my father. What's up, guys? Welcome back to another video, another midweek video. This is kind of going to branch off of Father's Day that just passed. I don't really ever talk about my family just because I don't really have a reason to. I mostly was raised around my mother and my mother's side of the family, so anything that I do talk about is usually about them. But as for my father's side, there's not much to it. Before we do hop into it, my name's Kyle, aka Prince Kyle, don't forget it. And I have an Instagram as well as a TikTok where I share my female to male transition, as well as give tips to anybody that wants to hear about it. All right, let's get into it. Today, we are going to be talking about why I chose my transition over my father. My father was not really actively in my life until recently, and this decision that I have made was recent. So again, I just feel like it's fitting because Father's Day was just yesterday. I don't think it's gonna be emotional, but no promises. I don't really think it'll be emotional, but it's gonna be kind of a serious discussion because I don't get into it like this often. So I'm gonna run you guys back to when I was very, very young and just give you a little background so you are up to date with my decision. My father was in my life until I was about 4 years old. He's not from where I'm from. He's from Jamaica, actually, and he got into some trouble. He ended up getting deported back to Jamaica. And when I was only 4 years old, obviously I wasn't told all this. I learned all of this a few years back. So I didn't know why my father left. I was always just under the impression he didn't want me, and so he just dipped out. But then the truth came to light. I found all that information out, and yeah, so from about 6 years old to about 12 years old, he would call for birthdays and then every now and then throughout the years, and just kind of keep up to date. And I would always question and ask, hey, when are you gonna come back and see me? Like, I really miss you. Mind you, I didn't know that he was having more children along the way. I learned to not really feel as important because it's like, you could be coming back to see me, but you're having more children. I don't know. That's another conversation for another time. He would keep in touch for the next like 8 years for birthdays and things like that. And then when I became a teenager and started liking girls and stuff, again, he was not actively in my life. He wasn't even in the same country. At this point, he was over in the United Kingdom, so I only knew him through phone conversations and the little bit of childhood I had and remembered, which was not a lot at all, because again, he left at 4 years old. And so I never told him that I liked girls. I didn't think I needed to because he was not in my life. So I already didn't want to come out to my mom, and she was 110% actively taking care of me. So if I didn't even want to come out to my mother, who was like my sole caregiver, why would I want to tell a man that I barely knew? And I say barely knew because I genuinely barely knew this man at this point. So I never came out to him. And so he ended up finding out through social media when I transitioned from female to male, because I started documenting my transition. And so the way he found out that I was transgender was through social media, and he did not like that. So around 19 years old, we just kind of went our separate ways. But I thought it was because he did not accept my transition. But then recently we rekindled, and we talked a bit, and we got into the discussion of my transition. And his words were,
I don't hate you. I love you unconditionally. I love you regardless of who you are. But I can't get myself to call you this name. I can in public for your safety and to make you happy. When I'm talking to your siblings and to family and my mother, I'm going to call you what your birth name is because I'm the one that named you. I just feel it's right that I continue to call you the name that I gave you because I gave it to you for a reason. And at the end of the day, you're my daughter.
And for a while, I accepted that. I say a while, but I accepted it for like a week. But yeah, so for a couple of days, I accepted that because I'm like, wow, like my dad is like kind of coming back into my life. So it meant a lot in that moment, because I'm like, whoa, like it's been years, like I barely know this man, but like maybe this is a start to a new beginning. Mind you, I'm 27, about to be 28. With him saying that, I'm like, okay, like there's potential for growth. I'll accept the fact that he will call me by my preferred things in public, but to the family and stuff and behind closed doors, and when he mentions me to other people, he's gonna refer to me as his daughter and by my birth name. And then I got to thinking a little bit more. Again, it only took me a week to like really have an epiphany, I think that's what it's called, where I really just woke up and I'm like, wait a second, like, first of all, this man has not really done anything for me growing up. He says he loves me, and some of you guys may think like, oh, you're being kind of hard, like at least he's trying. He's not. At the end of the day, I'm now about to be 28 years old. I'm almost 30 years old. He was only in my life physically for the first 4 years of my life, and I know things happen. I know he tried to provide for what he says and do what he needed to do to make a little money, and he got caught up. But at the end of the day, when he got out of jail and when he was deported, it was not a forever thing that he was deported. And he could have raised money for me to go see him. So even if he was deported, that wasn't stopping anything from having me go see him. So if he really wanted to see me, he could have paid for my plane flight to go visit him or whatever. And even now, he could do those things, but it chooses not to. He didn't call me as often as, to me, a father should. At the end of the day, if you have a child, you should want to talk to them every single night before bed. But I was getting phone calls once a year for my birthday. That, to me, it's not showing enough effort as a parent. So the more I thought about it, and the more like I just like had a chance to sleep on it, I'm like, to me, if you really supported my transition, you would believe entirely who I was. You wouldn't be mad at me because I didn't come out to you when you weren't in my life to begin with. So why do you think that I owe that to you? And then also, I just don't think you truly see me as I am, as a transgender man, if you are still going to actively call me she pronouns, my birth name, and refer to me as your daughter in front of my siblings, who I'm already trying to rebuild a relationship with, and have them see me as the man that I am. If you're referring to me as a woman to my brothers and sisters who I'm trying to teach, you really don't believe the person that I am. And when parents say, oh, like, I accept your lifestyle, I don't know how you feel about this, but when somebody tells me, like, I'm not mad at you, I accept your choice, it's not a choice. Like, I'm not choosing to do this. If I was choosing to do it, I probably wouldn't do it, because it's not easy. I don't like being bullied. I don't like being called crazy names or being threatened. Like, it's not a choice. And to say you accept my lifestyle and you accept my choice, that just proves that you do not see me as a man. Like, you don't. And I don't know, I just don't agree with that. So the more I thought about it, and the more I like started rekindling with him and some of my other siblings, and just hearing him call me his daughter and all this other stuff, I'm just like, you don't accept me. You say you love me, but do you really? I feel like you just feel forced to say it because you're the person that helped create me. And I don't know, to me, that's not a father. And it just goes for Father's Day. I saw a lot of people posting about this. To be a father, it doesn't mean that you had to be the person that created the child. To be a father, it means you love them unconditionally, you accept and you believe in everything they tell you. Like, it is so much more than just being a sperm giver. Like, really, all he is a donor. And if he sees this, I'm sorry, but like, do better. You should have did better. And it's just far too late to try and rekindle something that should have been rekindled as a child, because like growing up without a father, it did a lot of damage that I didn't realize until I was an adult. And I appreciate my mom 50,000 times more than I ever could, because she did everything for me. She played the role of the mother and the father, and she brought me and raised me to be an amazing man that I am today. And she loves me unconditionally, regardless of my transition or who I'm into and interested in. That's all I care about. So it took me like a week to realize that I choose my transition over my father, and I don't even want to say my father. I choose my transition over the donor, because it's just, I don't know, it blows my mind how somebody could even have an opinion on who I am when they were not even in my life. So it's like, how can you have an opinion for someone who you were not even involved with? To me, it just doesn't make sense. For any of you guys, if you have any type of situation similar to mine where you have a parent that was not active in your life but still believes they have a say in how they interact with you and what choices they decide to make for you and your transition or your sexuality, like, just, you got to remember your worth. You got to remember what is more important in your life. At the end of the day, I choose peace over like aggravation, and just like I realize keeping him in my life would bring more negative energy. And as a grown man, again, I am really close to 30. I no longer need that type of support. So it was very easy to make the decision to choose my transition and my happiness and my well-being over a man I barely knew and who really did not raise me at all. I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I leave for Arkansas on Thursday. If you did enjoy, make sure to like, comment, and subscribe. If you want to hear a video about my mom's side, then make sure to leave a comment down below. And if you have any more questions about your parents and acceptance and all that stuff, feel free to hit me up, and I'll catch you guys in the next one. Peace. I literally said I was gonna get emotional. Alright, peace.